You're now tuned in to Hough Nation Sports. Buckle up. Welcome in, folks, to Hough Nation Sports, Hough Nation Sports Timeout Convos, to be exact. When we take a timeout to talk to some of the big movers and shakers in the world of sports, especially those with South Carolina or Carolina connections. And we have today with us on episode 4 of Timeout Convos on Hough Nation Sports podcast, the one and only BJ McKie, the Gamecock legend, the Irmo High legend. A lot of people don't know, overseas legend, and now current coach. We're going to get into that. Coach at Wake Forest, assistant coach at Wake Forest University. BJ McKie, welcome to Hough Nation Sports, and thanks for taking some time with us.
Man, I appreciate you having me, Stace. We've been doing this a long time. You do a great job, man. I follow you every step of the way, whether it's high school football, basketball, bow bash, whatever. You know, I'm always following you. You do a great job.
You've always been solid, man. I appreciate you all along the way, man. I've been a big fan since me and some of my boys drove over to see you at Irmo back in high school, watching you in high school. Then you became a Gamecock, and we have that in common, and then on and on. So always a pleasure to talk to you on camera, off the camera, man. You're always the same outstanding young man. So with that being said, man, I see your shirt right there. Talk about where you are right now and where you are in life right now. How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing good, man. My family's doing good. For people that don't know, I'm at Wake Forest. This is my 7th year. Been with Coach Forge for going on 10 years now. Started out with him at East Tennessee State. Before that, I was at Charleston Southern with Barkley Redabar, who was my former assistant at South Carolina for 3 years.
True.
It's been a great journey in coaching, man. I'm enjoying it. It's the next best thing close to playing. Just get a chance to compete, against guys who you competed with on the basketball floor. It's been a great ride and a great experience. I'm enjoying it, enjoying mentoring the guys, and just being a part of teaching guys about the game and about the game of life. And I've just been blessed with having coaches like that have taught me along the way as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you definitely know all about how to get it done. And for those who, if you don't know, if you've been under a rock or don't know, BJ McKie, the University of South Carolina, all-time leading scorer, I believe it's 2,119 points. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
21-19. You got it right.
See, look at that. See that.
You got it right.
I might have took a peek at that before I came. But BJ McKie, get it done, man. Absolute genius at scoring the basketball, and we'll get to that Carolina career in just a moment. Before that, talk about how, and I asked all my guests this, talk about how young BJ McKie realized that basketball was his thing, although you weren't quite sure. You had a lot of other talents now you'll get to, but when did you know that you were kind of special at the game of basketball?
I really like basketball. I started playing when I was about 5 or 6. But my dad and mom and dad let me play everything. I mean, I did karate, I did soccer, I played baseball, football, and basketball. And back in the day, Stace, and I'm talking when I was 9 or 10, baseball was my best sport.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of boring.
I hear that.
I played at Greenview Park.
Yeah.
And it was my best sport at the time, but I really gravitated to basketball, just, the physicality, the up and down. But I really like football too. I know
we're gonna get to that. I mean, I know you told me about that. You got a little, we're gonna get into the football.
Absolutely.
The hypothetical, what could have been. So Greenview Park is very important in this area. Turned out a lot of great athletes over there. Did a great job of raising our youth in sports over at Greenview Park. So talk about that. So you got, Greenview Park. You get to the middle school ranks or whatever, and in some kind of way, Irmo High School became that's the area you settled in. And at some point, the legendary coach got his hands on a soon-to-be legendary talent. And what did it look like when you first entered Irmo High School?
I moved from the Northeast area. I went to Northeast High School. Went to Joseph Kills Elementary School.
Wow.
Moved over to Irmo when I was in 4th grade.
Wow.
And I hated moving because, you got your friends when you're 9 or 10 years old. You got your friends, but my mom and dad wanted to move and be a part of a really good school district that was moving up,
Yeah.
and we had heard about Coach Whipple, just through word of mouth, and
Yeah.
we were out. My family was really tight with Coach Glenn. He was around our family a lot,
Yeah.
hung with my uncles a whole lot. I really wanted to go to Eau Claire.
Really?
So if things didn't work out at Irmo, I was going to go to Eau Claire High School.
Oh, okay.
I was going to
Breaking
go to Eau
news. Breaking news.
Claire. But I mean, things ended up working out. I went to Harbison West Elementary School over in Irmo,
Yeah.
and Coach John Goodell, who you might know, um, he coached at Irmo under Coach Whipple, and then later on he became the coach at Dutch Fort when Dutch
Yes.
Fort first opened.
Yes, I remember. Yep.
He was my PE teacher, so he
Really?
kind of saw
Yeah.
the talent that was there. I ended up playing on his AAU team
Okay.
at Irmo with Tubby Smith was an assistant coach back in South Carolina back in the day.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
actually played with Gigi.
Oh, really? Never knew that. That's good stuff.
AAU back when we were like 9 or
Gigi
10
Smith,
years old. Yeah. Uh-huh.
who went on to play at Georgia.
Absolutely.
Kentucky. Went on to
Absolutely.
play at Georgia, went on to play at Kentucky. Gigi played at.
Gigi played at Georgia.
Okay, right.
Saul played at
That's right. That's right.
Kentucky.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's
And
good stuff, man.
and just really grew up. In 7th grade, I got cut. In
What?
Irmo at that time, you were going to elementary school from kindergarten to 6th grade.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Middle school was from 7th grade to 9th grade.
Oh, okay. My hometown was up there a little bit. Yeah.
High school was from 10th to 11th. So
Yeah.
making the middle school was only 2 other players that made the B team. That was Mark Himes,
Who would have been a really good player. Who would have been a really good player.
Who went to college at Charleston.
Yeah.
And Pat Marshall, who was before us, that went to Furman. They
Pat
were
could go get it now. Pat was a bad boy too.
I made it to the last cut and ended up getting cut at Irmo.
Wow. See, that's good stuff. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Himes and Marshall could both go get it now.
Absolutely. Both of them could go get it.
Yeah.
So made the B team my 8th grade year. We won the city championship.
Okay.
And my 9th grade year, I was, of course, still in middle school.
Yeah.
And made the varsity team. Really, the only reason I made the varsity team is because it wasn't nobody who could bridge that gap. And Coach Whipple wanted to accelerate my development with playing against Marvin Orange, Marvin was top 40 in the country at that time.
Really good dude. When he played at Alabama?
Right. Started all 4 years at Alabama.
Sure did.
With Hollywood Robinson,
yeah,
McDice, Roy Rogers, all of those guys.
Yeah.
And it really sped up my progress. Being in ninth grade, I had to walk from the middle school to the high school, which is across the street.
Right.
Every day to go to practice.
You felt special making that walk, though, didn't you?
I really did. So I went from B team to varsity after getting cut in 1 year.
That's good. Go back to Marvin. Oh, real quick on Orange. Last time I talked to Marvin, he was living in Vegas.
Marv is actually in Columbia. He's been in Columbia for the last few years.
Okay.
He's doing well, just working.
Okay.
Just living life. I talked to Marv week before last.
Okay. I'm telling him I said what's up.
We're still real good friends. Definitely.
Tell him I said good guy.
Definitely.
Good guy. So now you made your name. You know, that buzz started going around. 9th grade, 10th grade. I think maybe 10th grade. I started hearing. Now I'm a guy I'm a grown married dude. I'm a little bit older than you, and I'm hearing about this kid over at Irmo. And so what I feel like when you kind of start accelerating and getting known by people.
Well, I started going to 5-star. Howard Garfinkel, of course, the late legendary Howard Garfinkel.
Yeah.
I knew I had arrived during that summer when we were on the All-Star team, and there was some good players there. It was at Hampton Sydney. Of course, you're playing outside and everything.
Yeah.
And I got introduced as one of the top players in the country.
Really?
Top guards in the country.
Okay.
And it's all about confidence when you grow. It's all about confidence. Confidence is everything.
Everything. You're
you
right.
know. And of course, we had another great player that played in our conference, Ray Allen,
Oh
Hillcrest
yeah.
Dalzell.
Yeah.
Ja Morant's team, T. Morant was on that team.
Okay.
They had a special team.
Yeah.
We played in the lower state championship,
Okay.
and I scored 35 as a sophomore. And at that time, I think I really put my name on the map as being one of the up and coming guys, because at that time I still wasn't rated. I still was probably top 5 in the state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Players were rated ahead of me,
Yeah.
and I think ultimately that's when that light twitched to where I was just like,
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
I like how this feels. I need to work.
Yeah.
I really like how this feels right here. We end up
BJ,
losing.
35 as a sophomore in the playoffs to get you noticed.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Especially against one of the best players that ever played the game, especially one of the best shooters that ever played the game.
yeah, yeah. And who was in that game? Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Against Ray Allen. Yes, I want to make sure people at home caught that. If it jumps a reset right here, folks. Timeout Convos talking to legendary BJ McKie, current assistant coach at Wake Forest, and Gamecock legend, all-time leading scorer, all around great guy. And so now you take us up through sophomore year, get noticed in junior year. I think I actually came to see a game of yours when you was in 11th grade.
Okay.
Y'all went to chip that year. I went and saw y'all play. Maybe it was OW. It was somebody y'all played at Irmo in the playoffs. And
we played to go to the championship. We played against Hartsville.
might have been that game. It was one of those games
Against
right
Moo
before
Moo.
you went to.
It was packed.
Yeah.
It was BJ going against Moo Moo, of course.
Moo Moo
We
Blakely.
played against each other a long time before that.
The great Moo Moo Blakely.
Yes. I
South
mean,
Carolina State legend.
Moo Moo could score that ball, man. Me and Moo Moo have been playing against each other AAU since we were like 9 or 10 years old.
Wow.
But I mean, all of us grew up. Of course, he did some great things at Hartsville, and we managed to meet each other in the lower state championship.
Yeah.
And we advanced out of there with a dub.
Got it done. That's all you were leaving it at.
Done.
We got the dub. We continued on.
Got it done. Got it done.
So now, what year y'all got? You got 1 or 2 chips in high school.
I went to 3. I got 2.
Okay.
I went to. We played against James Allen my freshman year, right. And of course, Rodney Dupree was at James Allen, and it was a rematch from when Pat and Marvin came back from being 20 down at halftime, and they won. And the crazy part of that story, and a lot of people don't know, is Rodney Dupree, years before I got there, was an assistant under Coach Whipple at Irmo.
Oh, I did not realize that. Okay.
So, and they're good friends to this day, and I'm good friends with Coach Dupree. So that was the rematch, and they beat us my freshman year. Okay. And my junior and senior year, we won back-to-back.
Wow, that's good stuff, man. But you didn't go undefeated. We're going to touch on that in a minute, because there's a Mackie who did, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, he got one. Actually, he got a couple up, but we'll get to that a little bit.
So yeah, man. So he got you on 2 different levels. So 11th grade. So then, I mean, going into that senior year, man, you were nominated for a lot of things. I remember this, and you ended up being a McDonald's All-American.
Right.
But talk about what the euphoria was that senior year. You're recruiting. How heady was that whole situation senior year, coming back off of state championship?
Right.
Ready to do it again. The media, now you learn the media skills. You're getting interviewed a lot. Everybody wants to talk to BJ. And where is he going to stay in state? Is he going to stay home?
Absolutely.
Well, talk about how that was, and then we'll get to some of your offers other than Carolina as you go. Tell that story.
Well, first off, I was glad that Kevin Garnett, left to go to Chicago, because I would have probably been the only McDonald's All-American that couldn't win Player of the Year in the state of South Carolina. Right. So I was happy he got he got the hell out of here.
Cleared the way.
But I mean, it was a good time. I mean, I was getting letters from everybody. I mean, Syracuse, Duke, North Carolina, I mean, UCLA, it was everybody out. I mean, everybody, you name it, was recruiting me. I was getting letters out every day, 50, 60 letters every day.
Had to be fun.
That's when guys could actually, they personalize and write you letters.
Right.
It was a good time. I actually narrowed it down to University of Virginia, of course, South Carolina, Clemson. Rick Barnes was there.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Florida, because Florida had just came off of that Final Four run.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was sitting down one night and just going over different schools and stuff after I had visited and everything. And it just dawned on me, I already knew Bud and Will Gallman had already committed, and I knew what kind of players they were. Of course, I played with Bud on Midland's Chick-fil-A AAU team. I knew we would have a really good class coming in. And I was a very family-oriented type person. And I was just like, why would I go anywhere else? I had a son on the way.
And I didn't realize. I don't know if I knew that. Yeah.
I was just like, I was sitting down and I went in my mom and dad's room and I just told them, I said, I'm almost certain I want to go to University of South Carolina. And they said, okay, sit on it and think about it throughout the course of the night.
Yeah.
And I went back in there. This was probably like around 9. I went back in there around 11 o'clock and I said, I really want to go to South Carolina.
Good stuff, man.
Told them the reasons why. I kind of like what I just told you right there. Just families around. I feel like we can have a good recruitment class. And my mom and dad was just like, hey, Doc, I get it.
Yeah.
And part of them probably wanted me to stay too.
Yeah.
But you had Coach Fogler, who was just coming off with National Coach of the Year. Didn't know much about Coach at that particular time other than going, taking Vanderbilt to the Sweet 16, because before that, Bobby Crimmins took the job and then left after a couple weeks.
I remember that. That was tough. I remember that. That was a wild time, wasn't it?
It was wild because I was in the mode of, he's a guards coach. Kenny Anderson, other guards that he was a guards coach, and then it was just a flip. And Coach Fogler came in. Of course, they didn't have a particularly good year, but they were rebuilding.
Yeah.
Saw the pieces. Larry was coming in.
Yeah.
Melvin was already there. Saw some of those pieces. We had a top 5 recruitment class coming in.
Yeah.
And he created a little buzz around Columbia. And I don't ever look back on that decision. That was one of the best decisions I ever made. So I called Coach Fogler that night. It must have been probably like around midnight.
Wow.
And he said I made him the happiest coach in the country that night.
Yeah, he didn't mind that call.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I got to know Coach Fogler a little bit over the years, but he's a really good dude, man.
Really great mentor. I still keep in contact with Coach to this day.
One thing about him that impressed me, and I had a little point of personal privilege, I coached some AAU with Herbert Lee Davis and Aaron Lucas. We coached our sons with some AAU. Right. And Coach Fogler was coming to our games. This is like 6th, 7th grade kids, just to show support for them. And one time we was up in Rock Hill, and Herbert Lee and Aaron was, I'm on the coaching staff with them, and William Gallman was up there too.
Yep.
And they took a big picture out in the lobby, and it was all the guys. It was so much love in the room. You could tell the relationship he built.
Absolutely. And Coach still comes to our practice. He'll come to 1 or 2 practices before the season starts. He'll come to 1 or 2 games and talk to me, just on some mentorship type things.
Yeah.
He's still very instrumental in my life.
Yeah, great guy. That was a great guy. I'm a Tar Heel guy, by the way. So him coming out of that Tar Heel treatment, that was special for me.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm a Dean Smith guy. Come on now. Me and Coach Fogler double team me on that one. Tar Heel cut his teeth there. I want to take time out for a moment to thank the sponsors that make it all happen here at Hough Nation Sports. I want to thank Rockamoss and Rockamoss.com. Fuel your glow from the sea below. Go to Rockamoss.com for all of your sea moss needs. Of course, Alpha Insurance Solutions, LLC, for all your insurance needs. Reach them at 803-427-1327. Then, when it comes to real estate, for all your home buying and selling needs, it is Karen Alexander and her outstanding staff at SM Realty and Associates, LLC. The number, 803-445-7185. The email, KarenAlexander773@gmail.com. Once again, for all your home buying and selling needs, SM Realty and Associates, LLC. And want to thank GFHRsports.com. And NIL attorney can help you with all your NIL questions and concerns. Go to the website, GFHRsports.com, when it comes to NIL. And now, back to the episode. Yeah. So Talk to me about it. So you go in your senior year. Tell me this part about winning the championship back to back, and then going into the McDonald's All American game again. Heavy stuff, and some of the guys you played against.
Yeah, man. I mean, people will call that one of the best, if not the best, McDonald's teams to ever play, and it'll still pop up on social media at least a couple times a year. People still toss it to me on social media and everything. But it was it was a great time. I mean, everybody wants to be a McDonald's All-American when they're growing up playing basketball.
Absolutely.
And to be selected with those 22 guys, I mean, that's one of the best milestones of my career.
Yeah.
Especially at that time. I mean, you had Vince Carter on that team, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Stephon Marbury, God Shamgod. It was Shamgod Wells back then. God Shamgod, Jelani McCoy, Ron Mercer, Wayne Turner, Lewis Bullock, the late Tractor Trailer, Albert White, Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
That is a loaded squad, bro.
Chauncey Billups.
Okay.
I mean, the list, Randall Jackson, the list can go on and on. Chauncey didn't play in that game because I think he had a torn rotator cuff. He just had surgery.
Okay.
But I mean, he was there, but he didn't participate, but he was on that team.
That's quite a crew.
It was a deep squad.
It's quite a crew.
It was a big time squad.
So I'm gonna fast track you now to you come to Carolina, and you talked about the momentum that was built, and you guys had you were the scorer. We know you ended up setting an all-time record at 2,119 points. Teamed up, some really special moments with Melvin Watson. I just did this championship game in March.
They fell a little bit short about that.
Yeah. And I had a game during the regular season with Larry Davis. So I'll see both you boys. Y'all have a three-headed monster, man. But talk about how that atmosphere was around Coach Fogler and the Gamecocks and the headway y'all made in the SEC during your run.
My freshman year, we played well together. But it still wasn't something right. Still wasn't something there.
Right.
And it took us a while to mesh. Coach, he dilly and dabbled with the three guard lineup, but that wasn't. Nobody really knew about a 3-guard lineup back then. How crazy that is now, because sometimes you play with 4 guards now.
Yeah.
So we did the 2-guard lineup, but we really started to flourish and mesh well during our sophomore year.
Yeah.
I think after our freshman year, we went on an overseas tour and hashed out a lot of things. Me and Coach Fogler did it on purpose. Me and Melvin were roommates.
Okay.
Talked about a lot of things, some mature things, and just really put everything out on the table. But it still was some friction there. And one of the main frictions was me and Larry wanted to score the ball.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
He wanted to be the man, and I wanted to be the man.
Right.
And one of the biggest turning points of our season, our sophomore year, when we won the SEC, was Hagen Rouse. Was a walk-on at the time.
Yes, he could shoot a little bit.
We had a closed-door meeting, and he basically lit into me and Larry. And
Really?
Hagen was respected.
Yeah.
And he basically said that we were being selfish.
Right. Okay.
And sometimes as a man, you got to look yourself in the mirror, and we were. We were thinking about nothing but ourselves and scoring points. Wow. But at that particular time, after Christmas, we won about 16 or 17 straight.
Yeah, it went crazy. I remember that went crazy.
And the city went crazy. We meshed well together. It's funny because when you're not thinking about scoring and you having other hidden agendas on your mind, your mind is more clear.
Yeah.
And thinking on the team aspect level, we shot through the roof that year, our sophomore year.
What year was that? What year was that? 1990 what?
97.
Yes.
97. My freshman year, we had a good squad. We just couldn't win on the road. We won our first SEC game on the road and couldn't win again on the road. And partly that had to do with being young.
Yeah.
We would have been considered a bubble team at that time.
No doubt. No doubt.
Because we had some good wins, but we couldn't manage to win it on the road, and we went far in the NIT. Matter of fact, we lost to Marvin Orange in Alabama at home to go to Madison Square Garden for the Final Four at the
I do
NIT.
recall that now. Yeah. Wow, that was
Mhm.
a good Irmo. It was an Irmo battle.
Absolutely.
Irmo battle. At this point in the show, we always do a timeout. It's a timeout convo. Let's call it timeout. I'm gonna ask you some personal things on timeout. As a matter of fact, we're gonna do 30. Take it full. We'll take it full.
Okay. Okay. You can take a full. You can take a full.
So BJ McKie. So we talked about how young BJ came through and all that. So the person BJ, as you developed and evolved as a person, what did you develop? What are your musical tastes right now? What got you going? What's your on the social level? What kind of music gets you going?
Well, it's going to shock people, but it's really not going to shock people that I know because I like Queen. I listen to Queen a lot, and partly that has a lot to do with Coach Whipple would always make us play "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions" before we played anything. He didn't care
Wow.
what we played
Wow.
after that, as long as it wasn't explicit. But
Okay.
we have to play those two. But I listen to Queen from time to time. A lot of people don't understand that, but I still listen to a lot of the NBA YoungBoy, Gucci,
Okay.
Migos, Drake, because
Now,
I'm
bro,
around those guys all the time.
right. So
You
yeah,
know,
you can't help it. You can't help it. Right. Right.
talk the same lingo, listen to the same
Right.
type rap.
Yeah.
I still listen to R&B. Jodeci and Boys and Men and all. The
90s stuff is
throwbacks, Mary
good.
J. Blige and all of that type stuff
Classic.
too.
Classic.
You
Yeah.
got to listen to the '80s, Keep
Yeah.
Sweating, all of that. But I still get down and listen to the same music these young cats be listening to. So
Good stuff. As part of our timeout, we got to ask you this now. Tell me your sport that you could have, would have, should have played, or might have ought to played, and could have a possibility to play. I know what it is, but tell the folks what was your sport that you had. It was right there. You might could have done a little something else with basketball. What was it?
football, football is one of my favorite sports. I love watching college football, NFL football to this day.
Yeah,
Um, but people don't know Brad Scott wanted me to play football after I got done playing my senior year of basketball.
really.
Because you had that extra year that you could have
Yeah, yeah,
played in
right, right,
college.
absolutely.
Brad Scott,
What
he taught
position,
me
BJ? What position?
I could have probably played free safety. I had some pretty good hands to be a wide receiver.
You got to come down and
I
strike
wasn't
at free safety.
fast,
Huh?
but I could route run and do my thing with catching.
Okay, okay. So football was your
And I
thing.
was 6'2".
Yeah, yeah. You got the height. You got the height now. You didn't play that Irmo though, did you? You didn't play at Irmo.
No,
They had to
no.
protect you. You was the
It was
franchise.
one time where I wanted to play. We'd always talk to coach because we'd always do a questionnaire and everything. We all coach. He'll disagree with this to this day, but I remember sitting in coach office and said I might want to try football, and he was like, "Nah, you don't need to play football. You need to stick with basketball." He deterred me from playing football,
Oh no.
like my junior year.
Right. He didn't want to hurt you, man. You were the franchise in a way.
I get it. I get it.
And Coach Hough was a great
He
guy, man. I
taught
got
he
to do.
taught
I
me
actually
out
got
of it.
to broadcast his last regular season's last game on our watch Fox game of the week. Man, we heard the rumor. He didn't really say for sure. I don't know if he even knew for sure, but it ended up being his last game, and we put it
Right.
on the schedule because of that reason, because it might be, and it was.
Absolutely.
And he's a great guy. If you talk after this, we talk to him. I want to get him on here too, so we get him do a show with him.
We can
I already
definitely do
had Coach
that.
Bailey Harris on, so
We talk all the time.
Yeah.
You had Coach Harris on, which I love Coach Harris. Coach Harris has been up here
Yeah.
at Wake Forest. I gave him a tour.
Yeah,
Love
good
him.
guy.
But if you had Coach Harris on, that's all you got to say. Coach Whip will be on.
Yeah, that's yeah, because I'm too like that piece of the pie. I love it. I love it. So you know what? So stay right there. Talking about athletic ability. Before we get to your pro career, I want to say this. You came out. I mean, but let's go a step back. And then I want to get to your the way you played the game. But so your junior year, a lot of people thought you should have come out your junior year. I necessarily understood why you came back your senior year. You're a little bit of a tweener, in my opinion, a little bit of a tweener.
Right.
They wanted to
Some
show you.
people thought
Was
I
that
should
part of the
actually
decision making?
Some of the people actually thought I should have came out my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of my best statistical years where I averaged almost 19.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had fielders out there.
Yeah.
If I could have went in the first round, I would have left and went pro.
Of course.
But a lot of people don't realize is you couldn't test the waters. If you tested the waters and got an agent at that time, you had to go. Right. It wasn't you can come back to school. That happened like a year or two after I graduated. They implemented that rule. Yeah, so I couldn't even really test the waters to kind of see what all was going on. But, one of my uncles, he coached at Winston-Salem State at the time. He still lives in Winston. He knew the late and great Marty Blake, who was
Yes.
big time back in the day. Of course,
Yep.
Coach Glimp, he
Yep.
was in the NBA at
Yep.
that particular time.
That's right.
Coach Fogler did his due diligence. We're talking with Mitch Kupchak and some of those other guys, and everybody was pretty much saying late first round, but he's probably going to wind up going in the second round because back in the day, it wasn't known for 6'1", 6'2" guard to play the two. Sometimes I switched to the one, but I was a guard. I didn't label myself. I was a hooper.
Yeah.
I mean, some people wanted to label me as a two. We tried me playing the one a lot.
Yeah.
My senior year, it just didn't work out. I had to move off the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted to do what was best for the team, but
absolutely,
I don't regret my decision whatsoever.
No.
Everything happens. It happens.
Yeah, exactly. And back then, the term combo guard wasn't thrown around like
it wasn't known like that.
Yeah, and a scoring point guard. Back then, it was like a scoring. When you want to score, you go to another team. You can't score here. You got to distribute as a point.
You got to distribute the ball.
Yeah,
and I distribute sometimes, but I wasn't no distributor.
You was a scorer. You was a bucket. You was a bucket. You was a bucket.
Exactly.
So with that being said, that's why we'll get back to, so the way you scored, let's talk about that. The way you scored, BJ, and we know you're athletic. You're athletic. I always say some people are just ball players, so you're a ball player. You're a basketball player. But you didn't play your game above the rim, although I saw you in high school catch some alley. I saw you do some, people who know, you got above, you can get above the rim. You can get up and get down.
Right.
But your game was so smooth and crafty. You played below the rim, which I thought showed even more talent. So talk about your style and the way it developed and how you feel about the way you fit into Carolina and your whole career as a scorer.
I just had a physical mentality. I mean, a lot of that had to do with, and some people know on other interviews that I've done. I mean, my dad was a warden at a maximum security prison.
Yes.
And I pretty much grew up playing either at Greenview or on the prison yard.
Right.
I mean, that's where I got tougher. I got beat up a lot, banged up, that type of thing. I had to take my lumps, especially early on during my career. I mean, I started playing on the yard probably when I was 11 or 12.
Wow.
When my dad would just go to his office and he'd leave me out there and I had to fend for myself.
With the big dogs, with the big boys.
But I mean, I was physical, tough. I was going to outwork you. I had a quick first step, and I wasn't overly athletic, of course, but I tried to beat you with this right here.
And you did.
I watched a lot of film with the assistant coaches, sometimes with Coach Fogler, and just really became a student of the game. And I just had a knack for drawing fouls and getting in the lane and drawing fouls. And I mean, it's nothing you really can really teach.
I was about to say that you had to get points, though, hidden points at the line. You got a lot of your points because you know how to complete N1s and you know how to get to the line. Knowing how to get fouled and playing through the contact is a skill. It is a true skill. And you had that.
It is. Not many players can do it, and you sure enough can't teach it because I've tried to teach it throughout the course of the years. Either you got it or you don't.
Right.
And I just mastered the craft with that, and like I say, I had a quick first step, but I really developed my jump shot. Shout out to Coach Lebo.
Jeff Lebo.
Coach Lebo, we really worked on it my freshman year to where I was able to be almost a 40% three-point shooter throughout my career. A lot of people don't know that. That really helped expand my game to a whole nother level.
Are you aware that you just shouted out Coach Fogler and Coach Lebo? Let's see what they have in common. Let me think. Tar Heels? So you see how it keep coming back? You see how it keep coming back?
Both of them played guard, and they was from up north.
Okay, I mean, that's what they got in common. Other than Carolina Blue. And by the way, while I'm messing with you a little bit, lean back a little bit. I want to see what's behind you right there. You got a little raggedy cloth out there behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a little raggedy cloth behind you right there. We had odds right here. You see, we got a problem right there. You see that?
Got my gear.
You see what you look right here.
We had a down year because we had a lot of injuries. But you saw we were capable of the year before.
Okay, I did. But look, so we had odds already. We already. But
I get it. But
we got Gamecock in common though.
Y'all haven't even been to the NFC Championship since flat screens was out.
you've been saving that one. See, that's the one you use in the barbershop, right? That's what you use around your boys.
Do you know y'all the only NFC team to not make it to the NFC Championship in like 20 years?
Yeah, I do know that, BJ. You know why I know? Because I get reminded every week during the football. I got 17 weeks of season.
It's all good. You got to cheer for somebody, but you'll be on my speed dial this in the next few months.
Oh, don't worry, you're gonna hear from me. We're gonna take. We got y'all this year coming up, and we say that every year. We the kings of the next year. So we
absolutely.
We're gonna find out. So BJ, we gotta so before I'll get your pro career, then we're gonna circle back and talk about some family connections. Talk about when you left Carolina. You did some CBA stuff, I think, but you ended up making your name in Germany. You were at least 2-time scoring champion over in Germany, and they play, as we know now. We didn't know then, as we know now, they play some good ball all around the world, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, great basketball. The 3 countries I played in the most while I was over there was Germany, Italy, and Israel. Okay. Had a great time. I mean, really met some great people who I still keep in contact to this day. I've watched their kids grow up, man. Actually helped me grow up, experience a lot of different things, a lot of different cultures. And sometimes that's why things happen sometimes. Maybe that's why I did make the NBA. I mean, I tell a lot of these kids sometimes when you face adversity, and everybody's going to face it at some point, it's all about how you can adapt to it. I didn't make the NBA my first year. I really struggled with it, especially after seeing so many guys who I played with at McDonald's game and played against in college get to the level that I was trying to get to. And I wasn't in a good space. Yeah. I mean, I still was having fun. It was my first year playing in the CBA. I had a pretty good season, especially with being a freshman. I played behind some much better guys because they were older. Yeah. My pops asked me, he was like, "Why aren't you playing?" And I was just like, "Because these guys are better. They were experienced, stronger." Yeah. I played behind some really good guys, Dan Cross.
Florida, he went to Florida too, right?
Went to Florida. Yeah. Isaac Fontaine, he's like second all time in Washington State history. Yep. In scoring. Kevin Ollie, who got called up, of course. Kevin Ollie, he got called up like the first 10 or 15 games. Ira Bowman, who's an assistant at Auburn now, he got called up. So I played against a lot of guys, but a lot of people don't understand, like, you really have to have the mental fortitude, and a lot of things don't go your way. That was really the first time in my life to where things did not go my way, whether you're talking championships, whether you're talking region player of the year, Mr. Basketball, McDonald's All-American, All SEC, All-American. Everything went my way. Not saying I ain't have to work for it, but everything happened my way. And that was really the first time that it happened in my career that things didn't go my way. And it was all about how I adapted to it.
And that's what I will tell you. So, so there's so many ways to learn. We both older gentlemen now. We know there's so many ways to win other than getting it to the call to the NBA. I want to talk about one of your wins, man, and then we'll get back to your coaching career. But seeing your son, Justin, the baby boy you talked about, you made help make your decision. And I was there, and I saw the emotion. I called the game. That I was there. Remember that I was there that night when he won the championship, and I saw the emotion. I think you and I might have talked around about that time, and it was a big moment to see your baby boy, Justin, go undefeated, do something had never been done at Irmo. And when he down at the CLA, how did that feel to you?
I still get kind of emotional when I talk about it. It was a great time, partly because I was growing up as my son was growing up. My parents helped me tremendously, and my family helped me tremendously. And it takes a village, from my friends, everybody helped me through that time. And to see him go through so much with being my son, and to get out of my shadow and kind of pave his own way and step in his own shoes and play for the same coach and play for the same school.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have pretty much drawn that up,
Yeah.
any better than that. I mean, that was an emotional ride and an emotional night. That was a special night to put in the books.
And I was glad to be there to see that, man. I remember when I watched him. I actually had our camera on him. I don't know if you know that. And I went when he came over to you after the game. So that was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was good stuff. You can't be there, father son. We know what it is to be a dad.
absolutely,
That real stuff,
absolutely.
man. So yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna make you cry on here, but but it's good stuff, man. And I see him that. Guess what? Then he went on to go to a Final Four with Carolina. Something
Final Four. I mean, the same type situation. Didn't play his first 2 years.
Yeah.
Really struggled with it. Really struggled with being under the BJ umbrella and being able to weather the storm and not transfer like some of these other guys love to transfer. And it was talked about at times. And I said, the grass ain't always greener, son. You gotta earn Coach Martin's trust.
Yeah, yeah.
And he did.
He did.
And he made a good career out of it.
Yeah.
And I thank Coach Martin for being hard on him.
Yeah.
So at certain times when he didn't really have to.
Yeah, I get it. He was trying to mold him. And look, I like what he's doing now. Your son is a rising star as a referee now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's rising star. He's really good.
He's doing his thing and he's found his niche.
Yeah.
He was seeing some of those other guys that he played with, go on and have professional careers. And he just tried to find this. He tried to act and, model.
I remember he was acting. I remember we moved to Atlanta at one point, right? He was acting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, where the hell that came from, I have no idea to this day. But I mean, you got to back your kids with what they want to do. And I mean, he tried to sell pharmaceutical. All
I remember that too.
Name it.
I keep up with young Justin McKie. I don't know if you know, my cousin Lenora married into your family.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've had talking to you.
Know that.
So our families are connected. So I kept up with Justin. I always checked on him and have a conversation with him when I see him.
Good things are happening for him. He's a Division I referee right now. He's in the mix right now to actually propel. And we should know something probably in the next couple of weeks.
Really? He'll end up in the NBA. I think he'll end up in the NBA.
He's definitely trying out with some G League stuff right now. And with the G League, he still can do some NCAA stuff. So we should know some more things within the next 2 or 3 weeks on his progress and where he'll stand in the referee ranks.
This stuff, man. Also, on the family tip, man. I know you're married and kids, and other than that, I mean, I want to. You can speak to that if you want to, but I see your dad every now and then when I go to a Carolina game.
Oh, you can see him
to me. And your dad gave me a compliment last year. I saw him at a game and made me feel so. I won't even share it. He just said he uplifted me, man. He was really good. Your dad has always been a solid dude. He's a man's man.
Oh yeah,
he's a solid dude, man.
He's gonna have that wisdom now. I mean, whether it's my friends, former teammates, even guys that I played against, he gonna pull them to the side, hug them. Hey, call me if you need anything. Hit me up. I'm always a phone call away. I mean, he just wants to see everybody prosper and succeed.
Well, let me ask you this. We're gonna take two or 3 minutes. Give me an answer on this, and then I'm gonna get you your final thoughts. But this next question is a final basketball related question. You're at Wake Forest, an assistant, 7 years there. Mm-hmm. What do you hope to see yourself in 5 years as a coach?
I hope to be a head coach. Okay. I want to be a head coach. It's all about somebody giving you that opportunity. Right. I tell people all the time, becoming a head coach is like trying to get credit for the first time. You got to do something. You can't get it until somebody gives it to you.
Right.
And like I tell all of these athletic directors and everything, it had to be a first time for somebody to let you be an athletic director.
True.
It had to be a first time when somebody said, "Hey, Stace, I want you to announce this game."
Right. True.
I just need somebody to have faith in me to be a head coach and to lead these kids with something that I pretty much did since I was 4 or 5 years old.
And we both know it's going to happen, right? we want to be the right fit. We want your next move to be your best move. So.
The right fit. I'm not in a rush. I'm not complacent or anything. but when the timing is right and the man upstairs tells me this is the right situation, and I talk it over with my other boss who's upstairs.
Say her name.
And
You better say her name. You better say her name.
Oh, Brittany Mackey.
Okay, there you go. Just in case.
And
She gonna see this now. Make sure you throw it out.
then she gives me to go ahead and okay.
Okay.
The time will be right when it's right. It'll happen.
Perfect. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna give you your thoughts, man. Tell me what you think, your favorite thing that you think you gotten from the game of basketball, and how you feel about what you're giving back to basketball. If you can say that in a couple of minutes.
Oh man, just basketball has given me more than I've given the game in itself. Basketball has taught me a lot with just being a team player, how hard you have to work to succeed, and just winning not only on the floor but also in the game of life.
Yeah.
You know, just like your season always goes, it's going to have its highs and lows, in the same way with the course of your life. It's all about how you adapt, just like we talked about earlier. And man, I mean, if I can do what my mentors and my other coaches, and I'm talking about my Pop Warner coaches, my coach who cut me in the 7th grade, Coach Chapman, who cut me in the 7th grade, and he actually worked me out when I used to come home from Europe.
There you go.
You know, and it still comes in my games to this day. And Coach Whipple, Coach Fogler, and you know, Coach Goodell, Coach, the late great Coach Chandler, and it's just so many coaches that have given me. If I can give an ounce of what they gave me, then I wanted the game of coaching, man.
BJ McKie, Gamecock legend, basketball legend, all around great guy. Thanks for joining me on Timeout Convos, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Keep doing what you're doing, baby. You're doing some good stuff. Keep making the difference.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll be in touch, man.
We'll talk.
My guy, BJ McKie. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, fam.
All right.